Guys, and welcome back to another predictions video. And in today's video I'm be predicting the Babic versus Rozanski fight. If you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So going into this fight, Babic is 11-0 with 10 KOs and Rozanski is 14-0 with 13 KOs. This fight is for the WBC World Bridgerweight title. Babic's last fight was a win by unanimous decision versus Bolski, and Rozanski's last fight was a win by a KO in round 1 versus Szpilka. Rozanski is 37 and Babic is 32. This is in Rozanski's home country of Poland, so I respect, of course, Babic coming over for this fight. He didn't really have to do it, but I suppose he didn't really see many other fights as being available options for him in this weight category, and thought that that was the best chance for him to get a fight. And seemingly this fight was taking quite a while to be made, and so this was just the only chance it was getting made, I suppose. Both fighters have shown their power through their high KO ratios, of course. They're both hard hitters, of course. 10 KOs and 11 for Babic, and 13 and 14 for Rozanski. Two hard hitters, great combinations, and just have that dog mentality, which is going to make this fight an absolute war, and I'm really excited for it. Let's speak about Babic then. Babic, an attacking fighter, rips with punches. He has a dog mentality. He controls the centre. He's relentless. He has a high volume. He has big hooks. He changes angles well. He's a fast starter, pressure fighter, entertaining fighter, forces a war, cuts off the ring, is well conditioned, and improves throughout the fight. In that last fight versus Bolski, he did come in a little bit over eager, I suppose, if that's the right way to put it, and he did get that knockdown suffered from Bolski, and he did have times where he didn't look crazily good and he was having worrying moments, but throughout most of it, he controlled the centre, he ripped some big punches. Fair play to Bolski to be able to keep on going, but his face was battered at the end. Then big hooks, very big hooks, very powerful seemingly, and he does change the angles well. He'll go to the body, he'll come through with uppercuts. He does well with that. He's a pressure puncher, and he seemingly was continuously throwing throughout the whole fight. He never really stopped throwing, so I would say he's well conditioned. Maybe seemingly, if you look at his body type, he doesn't look overly well conditioned. He's not like got a shredded six pack or anything, but I think it is that dog mentality as well that just keeps him continuously throwing and just non-stop throwing. And yeah, then ripping the punches, and yeah, it does make it very entertaining for a fight. Even though it went to a decision, that was a very entertaining fight versus Bolski. The kind of, I suppose, negatives about him: he is a bit reckless. Of course, he got caught with that early punch, and he did get caught with other punches that did hurt him at times. He's not got the best of movement. He's a bit wild. He ducks his head down sometimes when he comes in for a big hook, or a big collection of hooks. Yeah, and that's something that if you can maybe go in with uppercuts, that might be something that you can find openings with that. He doesn't always plant his feet, and oh no, that's no, wrong person. Sorry, doesn't have as much of a defense. Kind of just uses his attack as a defense, and not very technical. Bit of an open guard. At times he can have a bit of a lazy defense. He can sometimes just fight with his arms down just because he wants to. And I mean, of course, he did get rocked a couple of times. One was after the bell, and so that's fair enough. He got a point deduction for that. But even when he got the knockdown as well, he was getting hit with big punches, and he was getting close to hit with huge punches at times, just missing. And that's probably just because of Bolski's accuracy not quite being there, and not being able to find the range because of Babic just constantly being able to cut things off and stop him to be able to get in a kind of comfortable position. And so yeah, I mean, overly not like a crazily gifted technical fighter, but just a very entertaining, very tough fighter that is going to be a tough test for anybody in this weight division, or even the weight division above, to be honest. And he is arguably one of the faces of the Bridgerweight division currently. I mean, now that Rivas has seemingly vacated, seemingly gone into the heavyweight division, even though he hasn't had a fight there, I believe, yet. He is seemingly the face of it, Babic, at the moment, and that's why he's getting these big main card Sky fights, and it's fair enough. I mean, Matchroom really wanted this fight as well, and so there's a high demand for it, even though there's not really that many fights in this division. And I suppose that makes this fight more entertaining than any other ones, because it is just one of the only ones available. Rozanski is a fighter. He has good combinations. He changes levels well. He's attacking. He's a front-footed fighter. He's a good jab, good at mid and close range, and he likes to control the centre. Similar kind of fighter to what Babic is. He hasn't really faced anybody that's going to come and attack him yet, and so that's going to be something interesting to see. But he has a good jab that is used and utilised quite well. and I've not seen loads of footage on him, but from what I have seen, yes, uses the jab well, attacking, changes levels, powerful, control center, similar kind of fighter to what Babic is, but I think Babic is just got a bit more about him than what Rozanski has. But I do like how he can fight at the mid and the close range, and is comfortable fighting at both utilizing the jab. Babic doesn't really utilize the jab that much, and so possibly if Rozanski can try at points to keep him behind the jab, I don't think he'd be able to do it for a whole fight. He might find success with that. Rozanski, he's not really that fast. This is his toughest test by far, in my opinion. He's not overly accurate either. He can struggle to find range at points. He doesn't always plant his feet. He can jump into punches at times, and that means if he is going to get countered, then he's just going to go flying, because you can't just be jumping into punches. I know he's also going to find more power if he just plants his feet. He could be a maybe one punch KO artist if he just plants his feet a bit more, and he doesn't always do that. He can be a bit excitable at times, overly excitable, similar to what Babic is, just kind of getting a bit too into it, and I suppose that's not even the right way of putting it, just thinking that you can get him out there when you just can't, and just doing a bit too much and then getting caught because you are doing a bit too much. Hasn't faced an attacking opponent, like I said, not really got much of a defense either, so overly a similar kind of fight. That means this will be a war, like I said. Babic is the favourite for this, and I think that Babic will win via KO in round 7. Like I said, I don't think Rozanski has faced an attacking kind of threat like what Babic is. I think Babic's power will be too much. I think he is more powerful than Rozanski. I think his physical kind of pressure will be too much, because I think that even though like Rozanski, they've got a similar kind of body type, and so even though I think that, I still think Babic is going to be the physically more imposing person, and even against Bolski was more physically imposing, and even though Bolski is one of the bigger fighters, and he just managed to kind of utilize his just strength and his dog mentality, and yeah, so I think that Babic will win via KO in round 7. I think that maybe Rozanski might have a bit of success early on, possibly. Don't know, we'll have to see how Babic goes out. I think he would have learnt from the knockdown in the last fight, not go out too recklessly in this one, and yeah, I think this will be a very entertaining fight, and yeah, like I said, I think it'll be a war that'll end with a KO, a big KO. And then for fighters that you can really go on to fight next, I don't really know. I couldn't really find too much about the actual Bridgerweight division. He said he wants to fight Fury. If he wants to go up into the heavyweight division, he definitely can. That will definitely open up more fights for him. Of course, Rivas is I suppose an option. Merhe is an option. He's fought at Bridgerweight before, I believe, as well. And Romanov has also, I believe, fought at Bridgerweight. All somewhat options, but if he goes into the heavyweight division, I think he'll have a lot more success, and I don't really think there's too many more fights he can even really do in the Bridgerweight division without other fighters coming into that division. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like the video if you need, like this, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.